Hello students, how are you all? In the previous class, we studied about the cell theory and the size of the cells. Let's take a quick revision. Cells are the smallest, longest and largest in size. Smallest are that of the bacteria and the RBCs. Longest are the nerve cells and largest is that of the ostrich egg. Remember this thing students, smallness of the cells is indication of a greater efficiency. Cells generally remain small in size and this is because of two main reasons. First is that different regions of a cell can communicate with each other rapidly, quickly for the cell to function effectively. If the cells are small, then they can communicate very quickly. And then second is that cells have a larger surface area or the volume ratio for greater diffusion of the substances. So, it also helps in the diffusion of the substances in and out of the cells. To understand this second advantage about surface area, volume ratio, imagine a cube with each of its sides measuring about 2 mm. The total surface area of this cube will be 2 into 2 into 6. Why? Because of the surfaces. So, 2 into 2 into 6 will be 24 square millimeter. Suppose we cut the cube into 8 equal smaller cubes by reducing each side to half of its previous length. Then what will we get? The total surface area of these 8 smaller cubes will be 1 millimeter into 1 millimeter into 6 surfaces into 8 pieces. So it will be 48 square millimeter, which is the double of the original larger cube. First it was 24, now we got the 48 square millimeter. So the total volume in both the cases still remains the same. Now children, come to the cell shapes. The cells are of various shapes. For example, these may be disc-like, polygonal, rectangular, cuboid, thread-like, branched or even irregular cells are found. You can see easily in this figure. See the shapes of these are the various shapes. Human RBCs are circular and biconcave. जो RBCs, that is the red blood cells, are circular in shape and also biconcave. That is, two concave are there. That is why it is known as biconcave, and it passes through the narrow capillaries and transport the oxygen. So function of RBC is to transport oxygen. Now come to WBCs. See, WBCs are amoeboid. That is, amoeboid means amoeba-like movement with pseudopodia that can squeeze out through the capillary walls. So WBCs are amoeboid, RBCs are circular and biconcave. Nerve cells are long so that they can conduct impulses from the distant parts of the body to the brain and vice versa. Muscle cells are long and contractile in nature so that they can pull or squeeze the parts. Next we have the guard cells of the stomata. Guard cells are present where? In the stomatal pore, in the leaves, and these guard cells are of bean shaped, similar to the shape of bean, so that they can open and close the pore. Now children, come to the structure of a cell. Various kinds of cells show special differences, yet they all show a basic structural plan, which is dealt under the term generalized cell. A generalized cell will consist of three important parts. First is the cell membrane, second is the nucleus and cytoplasm. So basically three important parts are there in the cell. These are also known as the essential parts. First is the cell membrane. Cell membrane is also known as the plasma membrane. Then we have the nucleus, and third is the cytoplasm. You can see in this figure, cell membrane is here. Then we have the cytoplasm is here, right? And then we have the plasma membrane. Now come to the cell organelles. Don't get confused in the terms cell organs and cell organelles. See, cell organelles are also known as the little organs. Why? Because They are small in size than the organs. Most parts of a cell have a definite shape, a definite structure, and a definite function. Such parts are called the organelles. For example, you must have studied about Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum. So these are some of the organelles. Remember this thing, children, organelles are not the organs, but they are the little organs because of their size. We say them little organs. The organelles have the same status in a cell as the organs have in the entire body of an animal or a plant. Now, various parts of a cell, living parts and the non-living parts. Living part is the cell membrane. Remember, children, cell membrane is the living part of the cell, and non-living parts are the cell wall, which is found only in the plant cell. So, in the cytoplasm, ER is there, mitochondria is there, Golgi apparatus is there, ribosomes, lysosomes, centrosomes, plastids. And in the nucleus, nuclear membrane, nucleoli and chromatin fibers. So, remember this thing, centrosome is the part of animal cell, plastid, P for plastid and P for plant cells. So, P for plastid and P for plant cell means plastid is present where? In plant cells. Centrosome on the other hand is found in the animal cells, and this is also helpful in the cell division. Now, in the cytoplasm we have the granules also, vacuoles also, and the fat droplets are also there. You can see in this figure also, animal cell wall is there. Then this is the cell membrane. This is the centrosome, Golgi apparatus, nucleus is, this is the nucleus, and here this is the nucleus. Then inside the nucleus is the nucleolus. Then this is the nucleoplasm. Then chromatin fibers are here, cytoplasm and the mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Why it is called the powerhouse of the cell? Because it produces ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. And vacuole is present where? In the animal and the plant cells. And in plant cells, vacuole is large and prominent, whereas in animal cells, vacuole is smaller as compared to the plant cells. Cell membrane and cell wall. So we will study these organelles in detail now.